Si va a llover, que llueva. Lo que no quiero es chin chin.
No quiero chin chin. Si va a llover, que llueva. No quiero chin chin.
Déjate de cuento, no quiero más hablarte. Deja la bobera que lo mío sí arte. No te tires, chicho, yo tengo a la matar. Tu pistola vieja ya no tira nada. Deja la mentira, tú vives del invento. Lo tuyo es un chinchín que se lo lleve el viento. Me tomo lo que llueva y me como un rayo. Lo mío sí no es cuento, yo soy un caballo.
No quiero chichi, si va a llover que llueva. No quiero chichi.
No abuses de chiquito que Dios está mirando. Si te pasan la cuenta te veré pagando. Eso es lo que hay, yo tengo la verdad. Eso es lo que traje, para ti no hay nada. Mira para el espejo, dime.
Hello everyone, welcome to Casa Cuba Sundays with Michy. We miss you guys. Thank you all for tuning in today. We're here at Casa Cuba Studios, aka my house in New York. We wanted to travel out today. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, we couldn't come out, but we are virtual. We have a very special guest and possibly some incoming other guests as well. So I would like to introduce to you our special guest. Her name is Cynthia Gonzalez. She's joining us from Johnny Smoke Studios.
Hi, nice to meet you, and thank you for the invite and having me on your show.
Oh, I've been wanting to have you for a while. I've been following your show for quite a few months. So Cynthia, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Of course. Living in Puerto Rico at the present time. I moved back to Puerto Rico in June of 2020. I was in Dallas for 2.5 years. And basically, besides my day job, on the side, this is what I do. I love cocktails. I attend events, take photography, and now doing the cigar cocktail pairing. So on my live stream show, which started back in April of 2020, it started like that. It started with the distilleries and beverages, alcohol, and interviewing master blenders and brand ambassadors and such. But once I relocated to Puerto Rico, I discovered we have a Casa de Montecristo in Old San Juan. It's been open a little bit over a year now, and it was like heaven. Like I can enjoy high crafted cocktails and enjoy cigars all in one place. And it's super, super special. The place is just wonderful. I can brag more about it, really, honestly. And the owners, the bartenders, they're excellent. It's very homey, but at the same time, very elegant. And it made me feel very comfortable. So that really like brought those two worlds together because I had them separate. The cigar thing was something I did on the side, on my own, private at home, once in a blue moon, what have you, here and there. But it wasn't something that I incorporated into what I was already doing with cocktails. So in August 10th, I officially opened up my Instagram page and on Facebook, Mujeres y Humos. And that was after doing a pairing live show with Whiskey Societies of Puerto Rico.
Okay.
We spoke about, whiskeys and pairing with cigars, and it lasted like for almost an hour and a half. And it went so well that there were ladies also participating. Like there should be more about ladies. And that like brought a, it clicked in my brain. I'm like, wait a minute, you know what? And I started doing research and so forth. I dived right into it, and I did my first live with Silvana Bencomo from Brazil. She's a cigar sommelier, and we did with Padron and Ron Diplomatico. It was wonderful, and from there on, I'm already going on my 10th edition set, of lives with ladies of the cigar, Sisters of the Leaf from Greece, with Anastasia, with Pandora Box from the UK. I mean, it's been the reward, it's so rewarding. I feel that I'm benefiting from it more myself personally than anybody else. Because it's the whole process. Not only getting on a live and interviewing the person, it's the process that takes you to get to meet the person and have that discussion and chatting and getting acquainted that you do before going on a live. So it's a beautiful journey, and through it all, a new experience, actually. I mean, the experience has been totally different than when I opened my page with Hostess with the Mostest, which I have. It's all about cocktails and distilled spirits. And the cigar community is very welcoming and helpful.
Nothing goes better to the cigar than a good drink. I mean,
Yes, they've been very supportive, very helpful. The followers that I've gained so far, I mean, they're very active, and they send me messages. Hey, how was that cigar for you? And how did it went well with that? Oh, I'll have to try that. Can you send me the recipe and things like that? They'll give me recommendations. Oh, well, you like that? You should try this. And so that's just great. And through it all, this process, that's how I got connected with Johnny Smokes through a rep that represents Iram and Solomon. Heather White, yes. And she's wonderful. And I mean,
Jennifer?
no, her name is Heather.
Heather, okay.
Heather White, yes. Which I have not met personally yet. But that's a great thing about this whole thing, the cigar community. You are so connected virtually and in chat rooms and everything. You feel like it's a family, and you know each other. And when it's time for you to get to meet them in person, it's like an extension. It's already like you already know some of it. It's just making it real, personally. So it's just a wonderful feeling. I'm so happy. I mean, I love doing everything organically. Everything evolves in its own time. And it had to be done the way it happened. If somebody would have told me while I was living in Dallas that I was eventually going to move back to Puerto Rico and be in this journey with the cigars and pairing with cocktails, okay, yeah, great. I wouldn't have foreseen that at all, to be honest. The same way when I left Puerto Rico and went to Dallas, even though I already started with my cocktails back in Puerto Rico, but I really dived really hard, and I grew a lot when I was living in Dallas. And the same thing, the distillery and the spirit industry were very supportive. When I got there, they reached out. They were very helpful. They included me on their events. So that was wonderful as well. So,
That's nice.
yeah.
So while in Dallas, you got to meet our good friend J.R. Davis at Blue Smoke, right?
I'm sorry?
You went to Blue Smoke, Dallas? The lounge?
No. So I went in Dallas. When I went in November, I went to Conoma Cigar Lounge, which I did an interview there. Sadly, the wonderful sister of Lily Simone, who I met. I had the honor and pleasure to meeting her. She passed away on New Year's.
Oh,
Yeah, it was very heartbreaking. And, you know, these are one of the things that you had to live the moment. You had to live the moment, embrace it. Don't leave things for tomorrow. When you see an opportunity, just jump, just go for it. Because you never know when you're going to have the chance to meet someone later on. And while I was in Dallas, I went to Blue Smokes. And I went there specifically because they carry Faltos, Luis Faltos cigars. He's from Mayagüez, Puerto Rico. So I went to visit them twice, actually. I went to Casa Montecristo of Dallas as well. And there was another brick and mortar that I visited. And that was, yeah. And then I did a cigar interview over there as well with Good Cigar podcast with Al and Melissa. They're great as well. So, I mean, and here I am, January in PA with Johnny Smells Uncut. Being here in undisclosed location. Yes.
Cynthia, I'm gonna have to pause you there because we have a special guest logging in.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Good afternoon. Hello, Cynthia. Cynthia to Cynthia.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello, Michy. Happy Casa Cuba Sunday.
Happy Casa Cuba Sunday.
Yes,
You're right
yes,
now
yes.
with the doble dos.
Okay, beautiful. Good. And I'm with the Rothschild size. I'm gonna light it up now. I was actually smoking in Ashton earlier because we had Robert Levine on Meet the Professor.
Oh yes.
Yes, so that was a really good show too. So that's why I'm running a few minutes behind. But welcome, Cynthia. I'm so excited to hear your story. I was listening to a lot of it while I was in the little, what is it, green room or what have you.
Yes.
Please continue. Please continue.
Yes. Well, I'm having the Casa Cuba Flores Fina.
Beautiful. Oh, yes, yes. The Divine Inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. One of my favorites as well. They're all good.
And I'm pairing it with Ron de Barrilito. 3 stars.
Okay.
Me too.
Well, okay. I didn't get the memo. So
This
Was
was
the last minute.
okay. I was gonna text Michi and ask her, what are you pairing the Casa Cuba with today? But since I know that you love wine, I actually picked a wine. This is a B Cellars wine from California. It's a boutique brand out of Napa Valley. And we've actually, they're big cigar lovers. And we've done events with them, cigar and wine tastings, when I visit there during harvest in September. So I brought this out. It's a beautiful cab in honor of you today, Cynthia.
Oh, great. Thank you so
Yes, of
much.
course. Yes, yes.
That's amazing.
So, okay, so
Cheers.
cheers to this beautiful Sunday.
Cheers.
Mm.
Cheers.
And I'm gonna have to try that. So that's
We have a
rum,
little
right?
audience back here.
That's rum.
Good.
It's actually made in my hometown of Bayamon, Puerto Rico.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely would absolutely love to try that sometime. I know Puerto Rico, Dominican, all these places have wonderful rums.
Oh, they do.
Cuba.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay, so
cheers,
please
Andy.
continue, please.
Yes, Cynthia. So did you meet Jay at Blue Smoke of Dallas?
Yes, I did. Yes. Wonderful, wonderful person.
He's my guest on our next show.
Oh, that's amazing. That's
good.
great. He's a wonderful person. I met him and his wife. Yes. Yes. Very knowledgeable.
Yes.
Welcome.
Wonderful.
Yes,
They
well.
are. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We always have had beautiful times when we've had the opportunity, either at Fuente Mania or events, you know, in Texas, or visiting the foundation. He's very involved in our foundation as well. Cigar family. Jay's wonderful.
It's sad to hear that the Heritage Fest got canceled. Actually, I bought tickets, airfare tickets to travel to attend the event. So
yes, well, it's very unfortunate, but we're still not out of the woods, and
Yeah.
And they're not doing any events in Tampa during the month of March so far. So, January, February, March, we were hoping that Ybor City would be open to the public at that time because she does it in the Centennial area, which is an open area. It's an open park. But to bring so many thousand, I mean, up to like, I don't even know how many, honestly. I think it's over like 20,000 people come at a time.
Yes.
So yeah, talking with the city and everything, she chose what she thought was the best decision
Mhm.
for the people, for the safety of
Mhm.
everybody. So she's going to continue to plan in December. So please come back in December.
Yes.
We're going to be ready and gearing to go.
Oh, girl, me too.
Right?
I
I
look
mean,
forward to Tampa in December.
mhm.
But then we have opportunities like what I did while visiting up here, having Don Q sponsor the event and doing cigar pairings
Beautiful.
at the undisclosed location. Um, but these are opportunities. Even though we cannot do like huge events, we can still do small gatherings at brick and mortars, give
Absolutely.
support, and still promote the brands and the liquors, give people something to look forward to. And that we
I
can
agree.
still do. It's a little bit more work, more planning, but it can be done. It can be done. It's just about you wanting to do it. You
We've
know,
been doing it all through this since March this way.
yes,
I mean,
virtual. You know,
yes, and like even with Michy today with Casa Cuba Sunday, her and Jose have put together such a beautiful program, and
hmm
it is a beautiful tool for all of us to be able to still stay connected during
hmm
this time. But we're seeing some kind of like sunshine now with the whole virus and everything, and above all, we want everybody to stay safe. But I think even when we're able to travel, when we start able to like get back to normal or what
hmm
have you, I think that I know that these virtual things and these podcasts, we're going to continue. We want to. We want to even do more. We've done so much since last year, starting with Meet the Professor and all the different podcasts and the Zooms. But we want to continue. Just like when we do, you have to join us one day for our virtual cigar lounge that I
Okay.
usually go on Fuente Friday. We've met so many people around the globe.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm very grateful for that. It really, yeah, because I don't frequent the cigar lounges and everything like I used to all the time. Not these days, but this is only temporary.
hmm And I agree with you on that. The virtual part is definitely here to stay. And not only that, but it will give a lot of people the opportunity to be able to engage with others. You know,
Mhm.
under normal circumstances, if you're in an event, like let's say Heritage
I've
Fest,
said that, yeah.
thousands of people, everybody wants to meet you, everybody wants to at least say hi and say something nice to you and to Carlitos. But so many people, you're not going to be able to get to them. So this
It's hard. It's really
virtual
hard. Yes,
gives that
yes.
opportunity for
I've
engagement.
said that as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
It does.
Very
Because in
important.
the events, I mean, we want to be able to share time with everybody. So, whether we talk to them for a little while, what have you, but on these, you get to have a one-to-one. And Melanie and she's been such a blessing to us this year too. And we've been talking about, I understand that you have your own podcast and you have your show Mujeres and
You,
Cigaros. I love that. I would love to join in sometime. But
yeah.
see, you bring so many women together. We were thinking of maybe doing something that we can have like this, have a different guest on or what have you, and bring the women in our community more
Mhm.
united.
That's what
And
I was
this
just
is the
sharing.
tool.
Yes. And it's not to alienate men or brothers or
No, no, no. We don't.
but it's to have an opportunity to create a platform to bring forward presenting women that are contributing to the cigar industry in one way or the other. That it's very valuable and it's actually important to change the stereotype. Nastasia from Greece, her motto is changing the stereotype. You know, and this is the opportunity that we have to be able to communicate that. And I'm happy and I'm honored to have the opportunity to do that. And another thing is that who sees it from the outside, they say, "Oh, that's glamorous. You get to travel and you're getting all these great cigars and everything." But they have no idea the work
Right,
that
right.
is involved behind the scenes.
I agree.
The
Yeah.
things, what I'm gonna wear, the smoke,
Oh
what I'm
God,
gonna
the
pair,
heels.
the cocktail, which position,
Oh my God. Just the thought of it is exhausting.
because you want to create good quality content. For it to be like visually appealing, right? Um, to capture the attention, not something, just like that. No, that's something that it's worthy of their time. And on that note, because I'm so, if you want to call it picky or very conscientious
Selective.
about that, that's what opened the doors to be offered the opportunity to be a contributor for Latino Aficionado Magazine.
Oh,
That
that's
was my next
wonderful.
question for you.
Oh, I'd love to hear more about that. Wow,
Go
that's
ahead.
fabulous.
Go ahead, Cynthia.
So
I
they
was like,
reached
what?
out to me.
I was looking.
They reach out to me and say, "Cynthia, we've been following you. We see your content, follow your photography and everything. Will you be interested in being a contributor for our magazine? Because we want women to be involved in our magazine. We want them to participate and to attract more women to the world of cigars and create this unity." I'm like, "Of course, I'm in. What do you need? What do
Yeah,
you
that's
need?
fantastic.
What you're
What a
ready?"
good opportunity.
Yes, yes. And the first edition happened to be that I shared it with your
With,
brother Carlos. Yeah, Carlitos,
yes, yes,
him
yes.
being on the cover. So that was amazing. And I said, I want to do something special, Christmassy. And my daughter actually is the one that took those pictures. That
Really? Oh, that's wonderful.
yeah,
Wow.
yes, she did. And the January edition already came out. And what I love about it is that they give me the freedom to choose whatever I want. They're not telling me what is it that I need to feature. Cynthia,
Mhm.
it's on you. You do your
Right, right, right.
if you do the writing, I do the whole thing. Everything that you see there, I send them to them with the photography, the recipe of the cocktail.
That's a lot.
Everything. Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Very talented. That's wonderful.
It's
But
also very, very informative because I know that we get a lot of people who ask, "Oh, what's a good thing to pair with this? What's a good thing to pair with that?" My thing is, your palate is not the same as mine, so you have to go out and try. I'll
yes,
give you a suggestion, but it doesn't mean you're gonna like it. But the fact that you do give a suggestion for people to try is very nice.
yeah,
It's very refreshing, and it stops a little bit of
And everybody can decide for their own, but it's
exactly.
suggestions and it helps.
Yes. The feedback that I've received so far is that, oh wow, I never thought that you could do this cocktail that way. For instance, the January edition now, I did a pisco sour, but
I'm going in after we finish this. I'm checking it out.
I did it with strawberry puree, with cherry liqueur, chocolate bitters,
Oh, wow.
the lime, of course, the egg white, to have the whole pisco sour and garnish with pink peppercorns, and it paired beautifully. So I always have in my mind women.
Hmm.
Okay? Women, they like their pretty cocktail, something that's
Right,
attractive.
right, right, right.
Oh, really? With that cigar? Let me give it a chance. Let me give it a try.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I've had female friends that like, "Cynthia, I would like to meet with you at Casa Montecristo. I want to smoke with you. I want to have
Isn't
that
that
experience."
wonderful? Yeah.
I've had first timers and like,
Hmm.
"Okay, so you do everything, Cynthia." And I select the cigar for them. I show them how to cut it, how to light it up. And they just like get blown away. Like, wow, I understand why you love this so much. So
That's good, and it's bringing awareness to women that are interested and they want to be part of it, And if you're there and you're accessible, I love doing it as well.
Yes.
I really do. I mean, normally like people come into town or what have you, and I'm the first one. I enjoy hosting them. I enjoy taking them to the different, like Ybor City, to the famous Columbia restaurant or what have you, and going to the cigar lounges and sharing with them. It's beautiful.
Yep.
It really is. I missed that part of the segment of this year very badly.
It is.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And
But that's beautiful that you're reaching out to women, because there's so many women that are interested, and there's so many women that have been voiceful, like doing social media, and it's given them an opportunity to show their love for the leaf, to show their love for the sisterhood and our community, which is wonderful. Because I remember, like during the boom in the 90s, there were so many women dinners. There were so many cigar dinners, unbelievable. And but a lot of them were women. There was different women clubs, and they invited me all throughout the United States. It was fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that a few women, like, after, they would express to me, they'd said, I want to thank you and for saving my marriage. And I'm like, really? And I was so, interested to hear what they wanted to share. And there was like, because of cigars, because of this beautiful community, I've started to share it with my husband. So after he comes home from work, and he's enjoying his cocktails, or we're having some cheese and wines or what have you, whatever it may be, and we're sharing a cigar together. And we're conversing and we're talking, we're communicating, we're sharing about the week or the day or what have you. And I mean, 100%, it brings people together. And to see, it can make your relationship even healthier, because a lot of times men will go to the events and they do it on their own, but the women that want to share with their man and go and be like to the big smokes and so forth, they're having a great time with their man,
No, it is.
Yeah, just like, a beautiful example is Michy and Jose, how they do everything together.
We enjoy it. We already said we would never miss Ybor City Festival, because that was absolutely wonderful. We enjoy going to Cigar Fest in Pennsylvania.
Yes, Cigar Mania too.
Cigar Mania at Holt. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I also just want to give our viewers a shout out. We have Candace, we have Tony, we have
Candace.
Gracie. Thank you all for joining us. JR, Vilma. Thank you all for joining us. Anit, Santiago, thank you so much. It means the world to me, and I know as the ladies here that you guys are logging on and tuning into this wonderful edition. I mean, again, like Cynthia Gonzalez said, we're not singling out the men. It's just, sometimes us women need a little,
That's right.
It's
fun.
And
listen, any man that wants to share his points and jump on.
Oh, definitely.
We're always welcoming men, especially for sure. But it is nice to be able to share amongst women, and that we have so much in common. And I noticed that, I know that Michy was so excited to have you on, and when she asked me to join, I'm like, we have so much similarities. There's so many parallels. So thank you for having me on today, and I'm just so excited to be part of it.
Always, you're always welcome. I normally wouldn't ask you to be on, but I was like, it'd be so cool to have two Cynthias.
I agree. How did you get the name Cynthia? Oh, Karen! Oh my God, I love Karen. She's another sister of the leaf. Oh, we love you, absolutely. Maria too. Oh my God, I love all her posts and everything. Yes. I love it. I love seeing, all the creations of social media of all the women with their favorite cigars, their favorite cocktails. It's fabulous.
It gives you a different perspective, actually. Because the most fascinating thing for me is that the majority, and you correct me if I'm mistaken, the majority of the person or the human being that is actually rolling these cigars, for the most part, are women.
Yes.
They have been for centuries.
Yes. For centuries.
Yet
Very well
it's
said.
a dominated industry. that is the most, it's just mind blowing, right?
Mhm. No, it's true. There's so many women that work in our company. I mean, from the selecting of the tobacco, all the way to like the boxes, because they have good vision. They can see the colors good. A lot of them are cigar makers. A lot of them cigar rollers. We have a lot of women that are employed in our factory. A
Yes.
lot.
Well, I saw a documentary. I'm not sure from which cigar manufacturer, but they said the exact same thing. They have the women in the factories because they have an eye that is like none other. They can see the
They
beauty,
do.
they can see the defect, they can and they have delicate hands for the rolling.
They do. They do. They have delicate hands. Especially for rappers like African Cameroon, that's a very delicate rapper. They do have delicate hands, and men, I mean, it's amazing to see the men too, because they're such artists. But I mean, it's both. It's both. But we do, I mean, coming back from when I was a child, growing up in this industry, literally, I remember that women, I mean, my grandmother, my aunts, there was so many women there that are working right alongside with my father, my grandfather. I always remember being surrounded by men, but always women, always women. It's just that when the industry, like when we started going out into the market, I would say like in the late 70s and the 80s, there weren't very many women at all that were actually like in the marketing or sales aspect of it. I think that that's where they get like it's mostly a man dominated business, because you didn't see out in the marketplace women. I actually think I was probably the first, in those days to really be out in the market and be out on the road and traveling with the salesman. And I look back at it and I'm so grateful that I was able to have all those experiences. I used to work with the brokers. At those days we had brokers. We couldn't afford to have our sales force. And I would work with the brokers. Oh my God, Cynthia, Michy. I mean, these were professionals, okay? Like, wearing out their leather shoes, but the nicest suits and the hats, and they were dressed to the nines. And I remember they would have a book like this thick because they were a broker. So they sold everything that had to do with cigars. And like we were like one page in that whole book. So I would sit there and have to wait for the whole presentation. And then when it came to Fuente, in those days, it was very challenging. The industry was in a different, just a whole different era. And I remember, like, my father says, okay, give them the box of Florfina 858s. If they sell it, good. And if they don't, they can keep it. Okay. Or give them 10% free goods on the curly heads, because we were trying to, become established out in the marketplace. But I had that opportunity to learn from so many veterans, so many, classic men that knew tobacco. So it was a good experience.
And the friendships you've made along the way.
Oh my God.
You met Celia that way. I love you guys' story. It was so cute.
Yes. My girlfriend who lives in Philadelphia, we've known each other since we were 25. We met through the cigar industry. And nevertheless, we've been best friends since. And we only lived in the same state 1 year. But we've always maintained friendship. This is the beauty of this, because we can be the best of friends, and you may live in Puerto Rico, you may live in New York or what have you, and the Northeast. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't, which I think it's really, really, really special.
And today we have this. We have social media. We have Zoom, where, like Friday nights when we get in the Cigar.
That's right.
Bar, we've met so many wonderful people there, and I consider them all my family now. Because we don't
Friday night, I went on there late because, well, I usually go on there kind of late, but I went on there later because this very close friend of ours, he's a doctor, an eye surgeon, but nevertheless, he had a very small, intimate dinner. And like my daughter, Christina, she's a chef. She was like, oh, I said they had the homemade bread, homemade pasta, everything from scratch. I mean, it was like the pairings. So I said, well, this is like my first venture, but I'm going to do it. And everybody was separated. I mean, it was but nevertheless, so when I went on the Cigar Zoom, Michy, it was later. And you know what time I left there, believe it or not? I showered at 5 o'clock in the morning. I old town, girl. I showered. I go to sleep at 5 a.m. I'm like, guys, are you serious? I gotta go. But
We
you
have
get
such a
just
good time.
yes, you get engulfed in these conversations, and then you're having these beautiful, meaningful conversations with people that you've never physically met in person,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and the connection and the cohesiveness that we all have. It's. I'll tell you what, it's one and only. It is.
And what goes on in the Zoom cigar bar stays in the
That's
Zoom.
what they say. That's what they say. Yeah, 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 yeah.
We
I
have
love
some-
those chat rooms. They're amazing.
Yeah, the chat.
You
Yes,
know,
because you have a blog. I might have missed just a few minutes only of the beginning of the segment, but could you tell us more about the blog? I find that so fascinating.
yes. So I mainly post on Instagram, and it
Mhm.
automatically posts to Facebook.
Okay.
Mujeres y Humos, and I also post on Hostess with the Moses because of the cocktails.
Right, right,
Uh,
right.
but I don't. Of course, then I have the live stream podcast, which is under
Right.
savvy.co.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm
and
joining you. I'd love to be part of
yes,
it. Okay.
and but besides that, I do not have a chat room. I, I don't. I the part about doing the lives throughout the day and being engaging with followers and such. That is the only part that I have not integrated into my platform for several reasons. And one, it might sound corny, but I am a single mother, and
That's
I like to have time for family time
very
and
important.
my daughter and things that I need to do on a personal level.
Hmm.
So when you're engaging and you're like every day, like doing your
Right.
life at certain
You have to
times,
have a balance,
whatever,
balance.
your followers get used to that and they
Yeah.
look forward to that, which is great. But the moment that you
Right.
don't do it, they're gonna,
Yeah.
oh, what happened? What? Well, it's been a few days or this or that or whatever. And then you have to pretty much share everything that you're doing. Does it help with your platform to grow faster and grow stronger? Of course it does, you know.
Yes.
But it does have a flip side to it. And so that's the only thing that I have not engaged into because of those reasons.
Which is
Mostly
very understandable. You find a
weekends, I
balance
pretty
and you
much
do
don't
what
even.
works for you.
Yeah, I don't really post on the weekends. It's very rare if
Mhm.
I post on the weekends. I do Monday through Friday because those are the days that I'm working.
Yeah,
So
you're
that's part
working.
of
Right, 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 right.
exactly.
So how old is your daughter, if I may ask you, Cynthia?
16. She's
Oh,
16.
that's
She
beautiful.
turned
Yeah, these
16.
are very important years that she needs you by your
Oh yeah,
side.
yeah.
By her side. That's very important. Well, let me tell you what, my boyfriend would love hearing you because he cannot fathom why Friday night, I mean, I have the Facebook Live with Melanie and my brother Carlos to promote Meet the Professor on Sunday.
Mhm.
Then I look forward to Friday night. I go on the virtual cigar bar. That's usually the only day. And then Sundays, it's consumed with Meet the Professor in Casa Cuba. And it's like, but I mean, we're continuously working and trying to find a new normal in this world that we're living
Yeah,
in
of
at the
course.
moment. But
Mhm.
nevertheless, he's like, it's like a weekend, where
Take a break.
people can be with their boyfriends and girlfriends. And I'm like, yes, I
Ladies,
know, I know.
ladies, let's bring a man into the mix.
Oh, really? Oh, excuse me. Okay. Oh my God. Fantastic. Oh, there you go.
Hi,
A
Carlita.
perfect man into the
My
mix.
question is,
Oh,
why would a man come in? Why would he dare to come into a world that's dominated by such beautiful women?
because you're
Oh,
daring and it's good.
only
I'm
because
glad.
el que por su gusto mueres, su muerte le sabe a gloria.
Así mismo, yeah.
Cynthia,
Yes. Yes.
Sí.
no, it's two Cynthias.
Oh, yes, exactly. I'm sorry.
No,
You're right. I forgot.
Cynthia Gonzalez. I've been following you for so long. It's such a privilege for you to be part of this show and to be able to hear your voice and get to hear you. I see your love for the leaf and your passion for human beings, for people, for life, for your family. I just feel very honored and blessed that you let me come into your world as a friend and Facebook and social media. I look forward to the day that I can personally see you, meet your family,
Yes,
and
yes.
that we can become much closer because I think we have so many things in common. We got the value of families. We got the love for the leaf, love for life, and you know, these are the things in life that we cherish so much and we have to preserve. So welcome, and I'm so happy that Michy it was able to get you on this show. So
Such a great idea.
I was not going to miss it. I wanted to be on. So my hats off to you.
Thank
Un
you.
fuerte
Thank you
abrazo.
so
Thank
much.
you. Very welcome.
Thank
And
you for
ladies,
those
I don't want to interfere. Go on and continue the show. It's going so well. I love listening.
That's great. Thank you so much. Yeah. And like I was saying, backtrack with Latino Aficionado Magazine. I love what they're doing. You see, the tobacco is produced in Latin America. And it's great to see that there's a platform like a magazine of that magnitude for Spanish readers, so they can also enjoy what's going on in the world. And when they invited me and they offered me the opportunity, I did not hesitate whatsoever.
Oh, of course.
Because you have to you have to walk the talk, right? You have to walk the talk. So if you really love the industry, you love the sisters and brothers of the leap, and you really believe in it, then you just go for it and you give it all you got, so they can all enjoy it the same way that you do. So their work is just great. It was an honor to be on my first column feature while you were on the cover. That was in December. So I did not know that you were going to be on the cover. When I said, like, oh wow, he's on the cover, great.
I didn't know it was going to be the cover either, but I'm very, very honored to share the magazine with you. Of course, it's a great magazine, and I absolutely agree with you that you know, Spanish speaking countries and apasionados de la hoja deserve the platform to be able to communicate, to reach out, to unite, to hug each other in any which way we can, because today we have to find different ways. And I'm looking forward to the day when as they prosper, as they progress, they unite people through different mediums and different things, that they could take the leadership and do what so many other platforms have done to unite us all, because we are one world. We are one community, one family. No matter if you speak Greek or you speak Italian or you speak English, Spanish, it doesn't matter. We all are united by the love of the leaf and the love of life and people and the finer things in life, whether it's hugging a child or watching a puppy cross the street and everything and just wobbling along. It's the things that we all share that I think they really unites us.
No, definitely. 100%.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. So it's I'm so happy. Well, I even, just to give you a little background of what's to come for February and March, I went ahead, I contracted a professional photographer, a professional makeup hairstylist, because I said, I'm gonna go big. I wanna make it even better than I've been presenting so far, because
That's good.
and so, like I said, when I said you have to give it all you got in the manner that you can, right? And you're able to go for it,
Right.
because it's going to benefit everyone at the same time. So, and being a woman, they're giving the opportunity to have women to have a voice in their platform. That was their intent originally. So, like, of course. And not only that, but they give equal opportunity to, from big producers in the tobacco industry to the to the small, like, boutique cigars and such. And the feature that I did now for January, I presented it from the standpoint of collaboration. There's so many collaborations that have been happening. It's growing, right? You're having one coming up. Everybody's very excited and looking forward to that.
Yes.
But when you have cigar boutiques being able to collaborate with bigger ones, it just gives us more ample opportunity to experience more great cigars. Because everybody has a different view or different palate, a different understanding of the leaf. and that will give them an opportunity to be able to share that out there. So it's done through collaboration, and I'm all for that. And that's one thing that has really resonated a lot in 2020 with all the COVID and the virtuals. That has been really big. At least that's how I've seen it grow so far. And that's the angle that I chose for that feature in January.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, well, Cynthia, I just want to add to what you're saying, which is very strange. I believe in God speaks to us in many different ways. We just have to learn how to listen. And what you just said really touched me, and it reached something that I never really considered. Today, I was asked on Meet the Professor about what the question was, what other manufacturer will ever do a collaboration with? And my immediate response, we don't do this. We're old school. We're very reserved. We're very close family. We're very secretive in a lot of the things that we do. We try to be, because that's the way we were taught. That's the way it's been passed on from generation to generations. And I was asked that question, what other family would I do collaboration with? And I said,
the company,
yeah, company. I said the Padron family, and they said that's not a fair answer because that's already been made public. But that is the truth. That is my desire, my wish. I would not do this with any other family or consider it because it's the way that I was taught. Now, you brought something up. You brought up boutique families, boutique companies, about collaborations being so important. I would be open. It's crazy. I'm getting old and I'm getting soft, maybe. Huh? It happens.
I love it.
You become a grandfather, you know.
I love it.
You get old and you get soft. To me, the most important thing is the success of all these young boutique companies. It's the ones that are going to nourish our industry and keep the industry full of romanticism, of entrepreneurship, of new ideas. It's the young blood. It's todo nuevo. It's who we were once, and we don't want to let go of.
That's right.
I would consider someday, if I ever do anything, won't be with another big company, because I don't think that's the way. It's not what it comes from my heart. But maybe some small boutique company that if I could do something, I would take it in consideration seriously, because I really believe that the future is the new, the future is the fresh, the future is the young, and the future belongs to everybody. Nobody should be isolated or restricted from coming into the world of love, which is the world that we all live in. It's the world of cigars, it's love, it's companionship, it's friendship,
the world we love.
It's respect.
There's
a long tradition. So, you brought something that I thought I would never say, and I said it the first time here, and I'm going to keep my heart open because the day may come. So in life, you never say never.
Never. But we've had the opportunity to get to know a lot of them better through this year.
Yes.
We've had the opportunity to really, work with them as well, with Kerr and the Leukemia Foundation and just different opportunities.
And Gabi Coffee and so many people. Yes,
Gabby, I mean, really, it's been an honor to be able to, understand more and just share a lot more.
So in the words of the famous Bob Marley,
we were all there at one time, like Alita said. That's our history. We were small, growing, like I mentioned earlier, in the 70s and the early 80s when I was traveling all over the United States. I mean, we were trying to make it just like they are. So it's good.
Let me just say something, Cynthia. In the world of what people call our industry, we're still small. We're still family. And
of course, we're like a segment.
And we still think like that family that sits in the kitchen table and that little wooden house with a tin roof in Ybor City with the gallos screaming in the back, singing and all that stuff. We still are the same.
I agree.
And we're not going to change.
I do agree 100%. No, I mean, like every time I leave the factory at Ybor City, our Tampa headquarters, I always drive by 7th Avenue. Always.
I
love driving by Columbia Restaurant. I love driving by King Corona.
See the chickens and the roosters crossing the street.
The roosters crossing the street. That's what I'm saying. And it brings me I feel so comforted. And it reminds me when we were kids. And like my brother says, I mean, this is where we're brought up. When somebody approaches me and they say, my God, I never would have imagined you being so humble and real. I said it's because our parents, the way they raised us, and you both, everybody here being from the Latin culture can appreciate it. There's nothing like the Latin culture, okay? We are like
Yeah,
united.
Well, as far as making noise and sometimes
It's the best.
then I agree.
Well, wait. You know what I did here during my
The Latin
my
music, everything.
I cooked a storm yesterday at a local cigar shop. I did arroz con pollo, arroz con gandules,
Wow.
cerdo y jamón. I did the beans, I have habichuela, hice tostones. Hice una
Oh my God. We wish
and I
we
had
were there.
that food yesterday.
Cynthia, was that an event that I saw outdoors? It was a big event.
Mm-mm.
No, it was a small event, no more than 30.
Yeah, that was, I think, Cigar
Oh, 30
Life.
people today is a huge event.
Well,
Think about it.
yeah,
that's
exactly.
true.
It was
I
coming
saw
in
it.
and out, coming in and out, and there's a porch and everything. So we were within the guidelines. But yeah, but I did that cooking, and it was a great event.
Wow.
Was sponsored by Don Cu Serrayes. Actually, I did two here in PA. But the cooking, I did it yesterday. I just found that it was
That's
appropriate. I'm from
wonderful.
Puerto Rico, and I was having Don Cu rum. I'm gonna cook.
That's
So,
beautiful.
so staying in this Hispanic
It all
and
comes together.
our roots and stuff, I have a question. Cynthia Gonzalez and I are from Puerto Rico. So when you guys were talking about the gallos and stuff, that also brings us
Yeah.
back to
Yeah.
because that's the way
Right.
I was raised. But Cynthia Gonzalez, I'm gonna differentiate.
Mm.
Going back to Puerto Rico, sweetie, how is the industry out there? How are the cigar lounges doing? I know that you go to different places. I know we have a mutual place that we love to go to, which is the Cigar House with Rita. I know you go to Monte Cristo. Tell us a little bit about what's going on over there with the cigar industry.
Of course. So there's a few that I haven't visited yet because they're a little bit further away from where I live. I live in the north part of the island, and there's some on the west coast that I'm looking forward to visiting them. I just had to do the logistics, right? Because I had to stay overnight. It's a 2-hour drive and such, and they open later, like around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But I visited a few already, and I mean they're doing their own thing. They still operating when they lifted the restrictions of selling alcohol for a little bit. They put that ley seca, right, the curfew and everything for the alcohol, but for the most part, it's still alive. It's moving. It's not maybe moving to the scale that everybody will want, but still it's a place where people are looking forward to going. Me myself, I'm one of them. I only go to one because it's closer to where I live. First, second, I feel more comfortable there because of the guidelines and how the distancing and everything. Because there's other places is more like on the corner at the shop in La Placita, literally in La Placita. And so they tend to congregate a little bit closer than I would like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you choose where you want to go. But they're going through the same struggles as everybody in the mainland. I mean, it's the same 30% occupancy, you wearing your mask when you come in, if you're just going to go to the humidor, things of that nature. Sanitize your hands, taking temperatures and whatnot.
Everybody's doing the best they can do. Yeah.
Exactly. But
I went back in August and for a little brief time, and I visited Rita. She told me, "Oh, come tomorrow." It was Sunday. We were leaving that evening. She said, "Come in before you go." And that same night, they put La Ley Seca, and they close on Sundays. And it was like one thing I was looking forward to saying bye to Rita, you know, because she I love her.
yeah, I've been there. Yeah,
I do too. We all do. We all do.
That goes to the island, I tell them go to her. She has
Yes.
great prices. She's
Yes.
very nice,
Personable.
very well.
Yes. Yeah, actually, they're the only so far cigar lounge shop
Local.
that carries over 500 brands at a time. So they're the biggest one on the island. Yeah, and for
Our
many
human
years.
trust.
Exactly.
Cynthia, I
They're
have a
friends of
question
ours.
for you. Oh no,
Yes.
we love them. That's our home away from home. But
Mm-hmm.
and let me tell you about O San Juan. I you know, I grew up listening to my grandfather tell me stories about La Habana, La Vieja Habana, and everything. And I've been all over the world, and nothing touches my heart and soul like walking through a Viejo San Juan and seeing those cobblestones, the
Mm-hmm.
streets, and all, and the you know, everywhere you go, every little park, you see a trio playing
Yeah,
music, the little
playing music.
pancho, the music, you
Yeah.
know, the
So
gallos, the
exciting.
It's
roosters.
Yeah.
nostalgic, isn't it?
It's so nostalgic.
Yes.
It's so,
Yeah.
you know, it is a special world. You know, it really is. It's very unique in today, and to be United States of America, to be is a place that you have all the security and you feel that you're home,
Mm-hmm.
and you're still in another world. It's very unique. No place like it in the world.
I,
I have a real attachment that goes very very deep there. But one thing, the several times that I've been there in Cigar House with Rita, and the several events that I've done, people came from all over the island and from New York and from Pennsylvania and everywhere to come to the event, to say hello, to give me a hug. What amazed me is the amount of people, real apasionados, real passionate of the leaf, people who are really fans, who understand and know and collect cigars on
mm-hmm.
the island. How do you see that? Do you see that growing now? Do you see that more and more people are enjoying cigars? More women than I saw the events I went to. The women came with their husband. They enjoyed cigars. There were a lot of women there, and of course, las mujeres de Puerto Rico son un encanto, igual que la isla.
Beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you know, my question is: do you see that there's more and more people enjoying cigars? You see it that it's more acceptable. Well, how do you see the trend in Puerto Rico with
Oh
the
yeah,
consumers?
definitely. It is growing. And together with that, there's been like Whiskey Societies of Puerto Rico, for instance. It's all coming together parallel. With all this COVID and the shutdowns, moving everyone to the virtual world, it has made it grow bigger and stronger, the presence. So we're really looking forward to, once everything goes back to normal, we can actually do events. One thing the other thing is, what's growing a lot in Puerto Rico is the fact torcedores, okay, artesanos, little, cigar boutiques.
Yes.
They're doing blends. They're starting to produce tobacco in Puerto Rico, and it's gonna pick up really, really nice. I'm very hopeful for it. Actually, I brought 100% puros de Puerto Rico over here so that
Wow.
you try it, to give feedback and whatnot. So um, that goes back to what we were talking about, those cigar boutiques and whatnot. Puerto Rico back in its days, in the glories, a lot of, not a lot of, of course, that Puerto Rico back in those days in the 1800s, they were a big tobacco producer. But obviously, a lot of things happened, the industrialization, our relationship, right, with the United States, being a U.S. territory and whatnot, and everything else. It just died down together with the sugar cane as well and whatnot. But at least we kept the rum going. So we're the rum capital of the world. At least we
There
have
you
that.
go.
But I am very hopeful that Puerto
Yes, right.
Rico very soon
Very
in the near
appropriate.
future, yeah, Ron de Barrilito, will be
Barrilito.
part of back of that industry to produce, to provide a good, great quality tobacco leaf for the industry. So it's something to pay attention to.
Cynthia, you're absolutely right, Cynthia. I just want to, if I may add, I know Puerto Rico. My father, Don Carlos, had lived in Puerto Rico in the end of this, in the last of the 1960s and the beginning of the 1970s.
Mhm.
We collaborated with a company the association, the government in Puerto Rico, the asociación. And we couldn't make enough cigars in Tampa, went to Puerto Rico. My father used to tell me that Puerto Rico was so large in tobacco that the companies in the United States always said, the U.S. companies who use Cuban tobacco, that the best tobacco to blend Cuban tobacco with was Puerto Rican tobacco. My father was in Comerío, in Naranjito, and I remember going with my father to visit in the end after the company closed down, which was a government conglomerate. It was an association, to see the old brands that were made there. I don't remember the names, but they were beautiful labels. And Puerto Rico has a long history of cigars. I mean, we know like big companies like Consolidated were there. And I mean, Puerto Rico had a big cigar culture. And it's very encouraging and rewarding to see that people are now becoming interested, because there is that possibility to grow tobacco there. It has been done before. The soils are incredible. To do these boutique brands and give them support and come out with very interesting blends, which have been proven that they're really terrific and to really do some great things. So, you know, that's very, very good to hear from you. I was not aware that they were growing tobacco again. Yes. And I know that many people have tried again to go back and everything. Puerto Rico has a long history of growing tobacco. You're absolutely right. My father lived there. As a young man, I used to go visit him in Comerío. I used to go to Comerío. I remember going through a yunque and having to go through all those places. I mean, I remember driving there. It was hard to go to those areas where they grew tobacco, but it was beautiful, beautiful. Everything is beautiful about Puerto Rico.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's getting there. Of course, it's not something that you build overnight.
No,
it takes its time, but also not only time but dedication. You have to have the right people,
Everything,
with the right intentions, doing it for the right reasons.
Very true.
To really produce quality tobacco, because I could grow tobacco in my backyard, but do I know anything about that?
Right.
What does it entail? What does it need? And everything that goes with it? Of course not. So why even try? But if you know what you're doing, then you should yield good product. So I'm myself, I'm excited, looking forward to what's going to happen throughout the year, that hopefully it will yield a good crop, something that I can later showcase and brag about and share with everyone, because it also, I mean, we're brothers and sisters, you know, Cuba, Santo Domingo.
That's right. No, for sure.
So we all share basically history.
Well, listen, I wish you luck. I'll be your number one fan, your number one supporter.
So much similarity.
Thank you.
Yes, we will be. Absolutely.
So talking about growing
exciting.
Our world in Puerto Rico, there's a new group that came out that Cynthia Gonzalez and I are part of, Cigar Amor. It's a Puerto Rican family, and they support the Puerto Rican tobacco growers. There's a brand I just recently found out about. It's called Jambo Cigars, which is really dear to my heart because that's my father's last name, Jambo. Beautiful. And we're from Mutuado, and I hear the great things about it. I can't wait to get an order and try them out. I love the boot that they're growing, and you know, hopefully they'll be in shelves in your local brick and mortar. You can wish them all the love and support. That's all.
Right, of course.
Cynthia, look them up. Look up the brands from I forgot, it was the conglomerate, the association of Puerto Rico was the government that was involved. Look up the brands, because in the 70s, I remember there were beautiful labels. There was 2 or 3 brands. Try to find it and you'll see there was a big history there. I remember seeing all the labels and everything and looking at it. They were beautiful labels, and they were brands that they hit the U.S. market and everything, and then things fell apart. But you will find that, and it'd be interested that if they could be brought back to life or something, or remembered, at least remembered, because they were the ones that really, after the Cuban embargo, tried to bring back the Puerto Rican cigar industry.
Consolidated Cigar?
No, it wasn't Consolidated. It was not Consolidated. It was
part of the government.
It was the government support. It was part of the government. It was an association of tobacco growers and business people who tried to bring back the cigar industry. and they made cigars for a long time. And I remember the brand; it was sold in the United States. And my father was an advisor for that company for some time.
I will definitely look into that. I'll do my research.
I remember the brand was the paper or the background was like a burgundy wine, and it had like a tobacco field and everything. I just can't think of the name, but it was beautiful.
Okay.
Really beautiful work.
Okay. I'll look into
It'll come
that.
to you.
It's history.
It'll come to his mind. He'll remember.
I don't know.
He remembers everything.
I know Carlito has the memory of an
There
elephant.
it is.
He doesn't remember the name, but he remembers what the label looks like.
Yeah, of course.
And the name will come to him tonight, I'm sure. By tonight it will.
Oh, that's excellent.
The
So,
cigars
Cynthia,
are wonderful. Yes.
Gonzalez, so how has your time in Pennsylvania been?
Are you currently in Pennsylvania right now?
Yes, right now. I leave back to Puerto Rico on Tuesday. I arrive on Thursday.
Oh.
It's been nonstop.
Where in Pennsylvania?
Well, I'm in within Coldplay, Batham, in that region.
Yeah.
I've gone to out of town. Went to Hamburg today. So roaming around that area. Yes.
Okay. All right. I missed
So
that.
nonstop.
We love Pennsylvania for sure.
At this time of the
And we
year.
have Robert Levine on today on Meet the Professor, and he's from Philadelphia. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean the welcoming has been wonderful. They've been,
I believe that.
yes, very warm, very accepting, like an extension, another family. So I've had a great time here. I'm looking forward to coming back again and doing more things, more collaborations.
We've had a lot of beautiful gatherings in Pennsylvania, that's for sure.
So our community here is very, very strong, very united, beautiful. So I'm taking a lot from that back home, for sure. We're already talking about having them come back to Puerto Rico so I can host them in Puerto Rico. So that's like coming really soon.
We're all about the hosting. We love that part of it. Bringing people together. That's what Cigar does.
That's why I was, we have Airbnbs. I have Airbnbs with my family, with my parents on our properties. And they will send you messages. Oh, it's my first time going to Puerto Rico. I want to try mofongo. I want to do this. I want to do that. Like, no problem. I got you. And when I will get off from work, I will go and get them and take them to La Placita Santurce and take them all over the place. And they're the ones that name me, oh, you're such a great host. You're hostess with the mostest. So that's where the name came up with my cocktail spirits, page, hostess with the mostest. So that's where it came from. So I took that.
We are all hostess with the mostest. Yeah. We enjoy that aspect of it. Being able to host. We miss that because we're so used to hosting when people come into the Dominican, to Tampa.
Yeah, those are good times. And it's you're being an ambassador of your own country. Your pride and wanting to share what you have, your culture, with others. And they always leave very, very happy and actually surprised. They're like, wow, I didn't know Puerto Rico was like this.
Right. Yeah.
And I always say it's the best of both worlds because you get to. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say that a lot of people have a perception of when they come to Puerto Rico that it's all in San Juan. Like, no, there's a lot more. Like, you need at least a month to get through half of
to be able to see it all? Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot bigger than what people think it is. It's
only 100 by 35. It's only 100 by 35. We fit in Cuba like, I don't know how many, 15, 20 times that size. But there's so many things to see, to enjoy. And I mean, they get a surprise. I say it's the best of both worlds. Because you get to enjoy the culture, Latin community, Latin culture, but at the same time, we're U.S. territory, so you have everything that you
best of both worlds.
Yeah. Now, you guys have Burger King here in McDonald's.
They don't expect that. We
Like,
do.
yes, we do.
Yes. But you know, I don't know if y'all feel the same, but when I see like these memories come up on social media, like maybe an event that we did last year, the year before, and you see these pictures and you appreciate them so much more. Like, oh my God, I remember when we did this. And, you know, the gathering, we never even thought twice about being 100 or 200, 3 people in one room together. And now, of course, everybody, because of the obvious reasons. But when those pictures come up, you realize what a beautiful community we are and how many wonderful memories we've shared. Yeah,
And that has happened to me. My Facebook memories come back, and 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and having the holidays or even a weekend, it doesn't matter, going to a Hotel San Juan and having a live band, a Gran Combo, and
things we take for granted,
and all that stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh, who would have known? We took all that for granted.
Yeah.
And now we're like, wow, it feels like another life, you know.
It does. It does.
You know. Yes, yes.
You mentioned Gran Combo, and you mentioned Puerto Rico. You cannot speak about Puerto Rico without speaking about el ritmo, la música, la salsa, the feeling. Tell me a little bit about the music, because back in the 70s, I danced a lot with the Gran Combo. And the Fania All Stars and all of them, and all of them.
What I can tell you is, and
Barreta, you know, all of them.
Yes. Well, actually, when I graduated many years ago, on my senior year, for my prom, we had a Gran Combo play our prom, and those are differences in our Latin world, right? Is that we go big, and it's just a prom. But we had a Gran Combo y Mili Quesada y sus vecinos. So we had okay, huge. And that was in 1990. What, 1990?
That was a high school prom?
My high school prom.
God, what a privilege.
Yes, yes.
That's huge.
They don't do that anymore. They don't do that anymore. You know? So,
oh my God. Even here in New York, they used to do that. The Puerto Rican festival, right before the festival, we would have the 116th Street Festival, and we have all these salseros, Tito Roja, El Gran Combo, all these people come, and they just don't do that like that anymore. Not because of COVID, because even before that, it's just not the same.
Yeah. So if you want to talk about Gran Combo, that's my story about the Gran Combo. Yes. I mean, who would have thought?
I think I could tell you stories about Gran Combo before you went to that graduation party. Decades before, I was dancing with the Gran Combo.
Yeah, yes. I'm a baby.
Cynthia Gonzalez, how is that Casa Cuba treating you, Mama?
Oh, there you go.
Let me tell you something, Michy. You and Cynthia got me smoking Casa Cuba every Sunday now.
There you go.
Hey, you got me on the Casa Cuba thing. You got me smoking Casa Cuba. You know what? And the more I smoke, I just want to know what the hell the old man knew that I still haven't learned. He was the best. And this plant is unbelievable. Really, it's a good tasting cigar.
One and only.
Delicious.
It's unique.
Delicious. This is a doble dos.
Oh, me too. That's what I'm having.
Yeah, I like that size too. I think that's
actually when I smoked it, it transported me. It gave me like a little window of a time past, because that was his intention to share with tobacco smokers that history of what it was like. So that's the appreciation that I have.
Very true. Very true.
That's what I have for it. More about the construction and the blend and the notes and the nuances, all that stuff. It's
bringing
about
the history forward.
And me being young, you know, I didn't live that era. So it's
so you can relive it now.
Yes. Then I can have an idea of what it was like.
Yes.
And what was being smoked back in those days, what the real era of who I was.
You're absolutely right, Cynthia. My father's intention, while his children were doing Led Zeppelin and and all these things, taking it to another level, really making cigars so strong and everything, he says, "I want to show people what it was, what elegance is when enjoying a cigar doesn't knock you out." The Frank Sinatra, the Dean Martin. I want that era to be captured and everything. He just he blended old school. And that's the legacy he left us, just to remind us. And I think one of the lessons I learned, not that he reminded me, is that everything goes in cycles. Everything goes in cycles. It's like a pendulum swinging. And all of a sudden, there was the last 15 years was going to very, 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 very strong, but one-dimensional, without balance and everything. And things are now going back to enjoyment and flavor. You don't have to prove anything by being the strongest on the block or the biggest bully. You have to have elegance. You have to show that class and that silent power that it's not in your it's not in your face, but it's there when you enjoy the cigar and you go, wow, this is a good cigar. And remember Don Carlos every time you smoke this cigar.
Definitely.
I know that. Me da una patada en el culo because
Hey, wait a minute. Wait. No,
we're being broadcast somewhere.
Wait. No speaking la Spanish. What do you say?
This cigar is so amazing, and I don't get tired of telling people, try it. It doesn't even have the Fuente name on it.
Thank you, Candy.
It's amazing on its own. Let me
ask you, Michy. Let me ask you this question.
Let me please, Cynthia. Do you let it go a little bit? Do you let it go through your nose?
Yes, I retro.
Okay, I don't know. You call it retro. That's a new term, which I didn't. I would have told my grandfather, "Hey, abuelo, you retro?" He said, "Oh yeah." Let me tell you something. No, really, it's. If you retro, it goes through your nose and you get the palate. You're going to see that it has a power that is silent, which is very, very special. It's not easy to do. Okay. And I consider this, it's like us that we're all speaking now, this little close family. It's like a lechon asado, a porquito. And listen, we know that there's many parts to that porquito very special. If you don't retrohale, you don't let it a little bit go through your nose, you're eating the white meat or the dark meat of the pork. But when you retrohale, it's like eating the chicharrón. It's where you get the whole. People don't understand this. And then you tell me you're going to make a rating on the cigar.
Yes, I do. It brings out so much more, and it elevates
flavors throughout all the taste buds.
But also, I want to add those that are listening who don't smoke cigars or are concerned. The tobacco never touches my throat. I was taught by my grandfather, Dura Fuente, that I was taught that your taste is in your palate, in your mouth, and the roof of your mouth, and your nasal and everything, not in your lungs. Tobacco never touches my throat to smoke. I let it go to my mouth. And just a little bit goes in those, but it never goes down my throat, never in the lungs. You have no taste buds in your lungs. Yeah. So it's a big difference. People see it going through the nose. It's not that you're inhaling a cigar. A cigar, tobacco smoke from a cigar, it's alkaline. Your body rejects it. It's not cigarette smoke. Cigarette smoke, the pH is acidic. It goes in your bloodstream. This is totally different. I want to make that clear. This is very important. Exactly. It's a way to enjoy the taste, the aromas, and to really stimulate all the senses that you're capable.
All the taste buds come to surface like that.
Yeah.
Hey, if you like sushi and you know what wasabi is, then every time you smoke a Fuente cigar, you gotta think to yourself, the blender of this cigar loves wasabi.
That he does.
So I wanted to also give a very special thanks because I'm here As you can see, I have Johnny Smokes Uncut on the back, and that's the reason why I'm here in PA. He's hosting me, and we collaborated to do the events that I did during my stay here. And he's a great brother of the Leaf, and I want him to join us.
Please.
Very nice.
Wow. Bro,
Here, I'll kneel down.
let me just say something. Let me tell you, we're big fans and we follow you. And we thank you for everything you do for all of us.
You guys are better.
Being a brother of Leaf and a big supporter.
I got the Opus X Angel Share. I'm sorry, right there.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
So I got that. And you know what? Cynthia, I got a special surprise for you. There's a special guest here right now that wanted to say hello. You may know this guy. Come on in.
I would love
to. Come, get it. Joey Bianco is in the house.
Joey! Oh,
Joey.
Fabulous. Always dressed for the nines.
Always.
Oh, Joey.
He's the best. He took like a 50-hour bus ride to be here.
Oh my gosh, that's well, he's been a delight for me during this year that I've been able to meet him and get to know him and all our people in the virtual cigar lounge. Absolutely.
Yeah, I met
hello, Joey.
Cynthia, I met you at Famous. When was she there? Vilma's behind the camera. Vilma's on the other side.
Hello, Vilma. Oh, beautiful.
Years ago?
Hey, Vilma, hi.
I think it's 20 years. Hello, Vilma.
It's one over. It's a happy family. What the hell?
It is.
Yeah, here she comes. She's coming around.
And where's Eric?
Eric is downstairs right now passing out his Dalwhinnie to everybody that's down there. So I'm sure everyone that's down there is half in the bag right now. It was absolutely awesome having Cynthia here and her cooking yesterday, especially for us gringos who couldn't say what she was cooking.
She loved eating it all.
It was absolutely amazing, and then I had the opportunity to just hang out with her and everybody else at a couple, as we always joke, undisclosed locations because of the COVID stuff. And we had with Don Q, they actually sponsored 2 of the shows. I want to give them a shout out, and it was absolutely fabulous. And you guys, Cynthia, Botino, and Carlito are great friends of mine, and I've always told I'll make it quick. I always told Carlito the story about his father. Both your father. Yes, when I went to my first big smoke, and I was at Casa Puente, and let's just say I was a little.
Enjoy the juice.
So I said I always said this. I was at the bar and I'm feeling like, oh my God, I drank too much, and I said all of a sudden there was a tap on my shoulder, and it was your father. Really? And he said, are you having fun? I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, yes. And he goes, can I buy you a drink? I'm like,
oh, how wonderful. I love that.
So, I appreciate that. I never forget that.
Casa Puente is a great place. You have a lot of information there.
But
thank you for always sharing over and over again. It means a lot to me.
We're going to give you guys back the star of the show. We're going to give you back.
Thank you very much for hosting this event and everything. I saw it yesterday on social media, and I go, oh my God, what lucky SOBs. How in the hell could they pull this off? I wish I could be there. I saw these tents, and they were outdoors and everything, and it looked like it just was so many people. They were having a good time and all that. And I saw when Cynthia posted, it was awesome, and congratulations.
Thank you.
We got to get you two guys on Johnny Smokes one of these days. It'll be
do that for sure, man.
We would absolutely.
That's my shame.
No. We're looking forward to it. Really.
All right, here, giving you back to the hostess with the mostest, guys. Take it easy.
See ya. Thank you
very
much.
Hi, guys.
All right, Joe. I'll see you soon, Joey.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you all for coming in today. This was truly an episode to going down in the history books, because this show, it's more about giving people more information, and it's about having a good time. And for an hour and 25 minutes, I had an amazing time.
Us too.
This is the best way to reach people that I know you, like we were saying earlier, you guys do events all over the world, but not everybody has a chance to actually hear from you because you have to go to this person and then this person and then that person. Sometimes, you know, people want to hear more from you guys. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. Cynthia Gonzalez, you as well. Thank you for sharing your story with us. More of the audience, now they know about you. They'll definitely subscribe to your blogs.
Thank
Both
you.
of them, Mujeres y Mosmos and the Hostess with the Mostest. It's absolutely an honor and a pleasure to speak with you. I'm sorry we couldn't make it out to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I know.
Next time.
We will very soon.
My husband's not feeling very well, so that drive would have been a little too
Oh, I'm
much.
sorry to hear that.
So I won't take any more of you guys' time. Again, thank you so much. I absolutely adore each and every one of you.
Thank you, Michy, as we do
Well, we
you.
adore you.
And I want to congratulate Cynthia and thank her at the same time for her participation and her contribution to the world of the leaf that we all so passionately love. Thank you, Cynthia. I look forward to following you, being a great support, and seeing so many wonderful things as you proceed in the future and you bring so much love to everybody.
Thank you.
That's what it's
Thank
all
you.
about, sharing the love.
Thank you for joining and being part of this and being with me here. And Michy, thank you for the invite. And yes, looking forward to more events and more chats in the future. And let's see what the future holds for us. Thank you so much.
I want to also plug in because, of course, I got to show love to my supporters. We have Angela Yu watching.
Whoa! My favorite ninja. I love her.
Diana. Hi, Diana.
Oh my God. Hi. Hey, I know her. I know her.
Of course.
You know her. We know her. Hello, hello.
We have Jose Indalecio,
Beautiful.
Richard Juan, Peter Jekoff from the UK.
Of course, always.
Very nice.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
But thank you for inviting me on. Cynthia was such a delight. And I look forward to continue to follow you as well. And hopefully one day to be a guest on one of your shows and that to be able to share amongst our sisters of the league. It was wonderful. Today's been a true delight. Thank you for being part of it. And thank you for including me as well. We're so happy that Carlita got to join us. Michy, thank you for the love that you have for Casa Cuba and all of your efforts and the beautiful podcast that you've developed. It's growing and growing, and we really appreciate you and Jose at every aspect of the word.
Thank you. Thank you.
Truly.
All have a great evening. And Cynthia, want to give Mark our love too?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Yes, of course. So cheers to everybody.
Cheers.
To everybody. To Cynthia Gonzalez.
Cheers.
To showing your love.
Cheers.
Showing your love of spirits and cigars, everything. You're touching our lives as well, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful
evening. Tonight. So if anybody wants to join, I'll be on tonight on the Zoom Cigar Bar.
Oh, you will
be there.
What the Buccaneers are playing at 6:40, I think it is. So we're in the playoffs. We're gonna cross our fingers.
No.
Everybody, enjoy your day.
Hey, go Buccaneers. Maybe we get lucky this year. Go Buccaneers.
I agree. Go Tom Brady. We're so grateful for him. We got to support our team. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye, everyone.
I'll see you in Pennsylvania too, or Puerto Rico.
See.
Puerto Rico. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
All right.
Oye, si va a llover, que llueva. Lo que no quiero es chin chin.